Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome back to Season 8 of the Living an Elevated Existence Mind, Body, and Soul Summit. I am your host, Tammy Mastroberti, best-selling author of the award-winning book, The Universe is Talking to You. And today we are talking about hearing the call of the divine, life purpose, and manifesting abundance in all areas of our lives. Joining me today is psychic medium, intuitive spiritual counselor, and energy healer, Beth Herndobler. Beth is a master of different laws, including the law of attraction and manifestation, the laws of awakening and living on purpose, as well as the spiritual laws of alignment and flow. And who does not want to be in alignment and flow right now? She has the gift of third sight, of actually seeing energetic fields, and she can see when your energetic field is actually out of alignment from the dense, stuck, sticky energy, hooks, cords, blocks, and more that we experience in this physical life. And when working with clients, she can actually experience the feeling in her body where your body needs healing or to get back into alignment. But the interesting about Beth, and I can't wait to hear about this with all of you, is that she didn't start out with these abilities. In fact, she was a former Chicago prosecutor and trial lawyer, and it wasn't until the age of 53, so all of you who feel, you can't open your intuition, pay attention, it wasn't until the age of 53 that she finally started opening up to more, and that's when she developed and deepened her connection with the divine and the angelic realms. Today, she's actually going to be sharing with us how we can open up to that same connection to receive. So many of us, I find, are not open to receive, and even though we think we might be. And as I said earlier, so that we can live on purpose and start manifesting the abundance and the things that we desire and the joy and the happiness in all areas of our lives. She is also going to be taking some live questions today. So for those of you who are on the phone lines, and those of you who maybe are listening on the web but would like to get in line, I always like to say this in the beginning, go back to the email with the phone number and you can call in. But she is going to be taking some live questions from listeners where she's going to connect with your higher self, your guides, and your celestial team to deliver a message as to where you most need to place your attention to be open and receive abundance and more in your life. So, again, those of you who are on the phone lines, just press star 2 to raise your hand and get in line. We'll take those calls later in this call. And again, if you're online and you'd like to jump on the phone lines, feel free to do that as well, because there is time. We're gonna go through some questions and a process and all of that stuff first. So, with all that being said, please join me in welcoming Beth to our summit. Beth, thank you so very much for joining our summit and for being with us today.
You are so welcome, Tammy. Thank you for inviting me to share this beautiful day with you and your community. It's something I've been looking forward to for a while now, so thank you.
Yes, me too. And I said in the beginning a little bit about sort of your journey and how you were like a trial lawyer and, doing this stuff, and then something happened that shifted you and brought you to the work that you're doing today. So I always like to start off, people's stories fascinate me. I believe in signs and synchronicity. I believe we're all led to where we're meant to be. So can you share a little bit about your story and what brought you to the work that you're doing from being a lawyer in Chicago?
Well, I think the overarching aspect of my life is that I've always been connected to the divine, to the angels, to the universe. When I was super little and being raised Catholic, I wanted to be a nun. And then as I got a little bit older and realized that, being married to God meant not having sex, I said, I don't think that's for me in this life. And I always had this sense of there being something more I am meant to do to support and help people. So I went into the law in part as a way of doing that, of of helping people only to find out the hard way, that is, spending many years and a lot of money getting the training and then going through all the work of being a practicing attorney, to realize that the system is basically about money and power. It's not really implemented. I think its intent, our legal system's intent was justice, but that's not really what it's about. And so It took me a really long time to move out and through being a lawyer. And at the end of my nearly 30-year career, I was pretty miserable and drinking too much, overweight, not exercising, which was a big deal because I had been a dancer and a bodybuilder in my younger years. So I was literally just walking to and from the train to go to work and pretty much, 4 or 5 nights a week getting drunk. And being a lawyer, there's a lot of drinking, so nobody was even suggesting that perhaps there was a better way to process my feelings. I mean, that's not a part of that paradigm. Right. And so this particular night, I was crying. I had my Cosmopolitan, it's a fruity martini, in front of me at home. The TV was on. I'm looking at pictures of my twin grandsons who were about 2.5 at the time. Both my adult daughters lived in California. I had raised the two of them to saying, we're going to all live in California. And when my best friend had moved out there when I was, 20 or 21, I said, I'll be there in 3 to 5 years. So when I finally showed up 30 years later, her husband said, well, it only took you 25 years longer than you said.
Oh, wow.
So there was always, and I'm getting chills now, there was always this sense, right? Why did I feel I was meant to move to California when I came to visit my friend? Because I was. I mean, there was a grocery store that I remember distinctly standing there saying, this is where I'm meant to live, and I've spent a lot of time at that grocery store. And so this particular night back in Chicago, it was one of those dark nights of the soul, and I'm looking at the pictures of the twins, and I pass out and wake up with dried tears on my face, confused because I'm still in my work clothes and the TV's on, but it's light out. And there's also, a sense of shame, too, that was present, that really got stored in my body of like, I thought this was my path. What did I do wrong? And now I can't even find my way out of it. And I heard this voice that said, you will not survive if you continue to live like this. Now, up until that point, which is 53, pretty much the only time I ever at least understood that the divine was contacting me. There were many ways the divine reached out that I just, kind of glossed over, like my connections with nature and so forth. But the only time I heard those voices, like that voice I heard that night, you won't survive if you continue to live like this, was in a time of despair and tragedy. And so for 53 years, the divine only was able to get through to me in a consistent way when I was about to crash and burn.
Yeah.
And I could give you many examples. That's enough right there. And so then I had a plan, because that was the other thing. I was a very left brain, mental mind, egoic run person. All that mental mind and the ego is necessary and good, but it's meant to be a servant, not the leader, right? The right brain, the divine feminine, that divine inspiration, alignment with the universe and what all we are here to be, do, have, and create, that's the leader. And that comes from the right brain, from the heart, from the soul, not the left that's running the program. Here's what you got to do. I always had a list. I always had a to-do list, and it was very satisfying to me to check off the things that were on my list, even if, the one main thing I was supposed to really needed to get done in the day, I didn't check that one off. I might not even have dealt with that, but I was satisfied because I checked off 12 other things. So when I heard this message and decided I needed to go, I made a plan, and then the plan completely fell apart, in large part because this was just after the 2008 recession and the crash of the real estate market. So I thought I was going to come out to California and be a high-end personal assistant, because while I was trying to wend my way out of the law, I had a lot of other side businesses, catering, event planning, recording studio. I did a lot of other stuff and had a lot of skills, and I would have been an excellent personal assistant, but then the market crashed. And as the boutique headhunter that I was put in touch with said, there are now people who had personal assistants, who are personal assistants. I can't place you. No one's going to pay me $25,000, which really shocked me that was the price tag for a client to pay to get a personal assistant. So there again, a crack in my plan. I didn't realize that person was pretty much going to be owning my time. So I didn't think of all that. And he ended up saying, come to California and hit Craigslist. Well, that was a blow, 53-year-old attorney, and I'm supposed to come out here with no money because my condo is a short sale on a wing and a prayer that Craigslist is going to have a job for me. But I stayed true to the call. I knew there was no going back because I had heard the message, you will not survive if you continue to live like this. And in the next, few weeks while I began putting things together, everything shifted for my daughter, the mother of the twins, and she needed a new nanny and said, how would you? She got a new job. The old nanny was not working out. She was going to have more demands on her time, and she asked me, would you be their nanny and our personal assistant, basically? And I said, sure. And so I spent 2 years after I moved out here doing that, 3 years full-time, and it was in that time period where everything I needed to see and be introduced to in order to learn what I needed to learn to open to the gifts that were already there occurred by me living the life of these children, living the life of the schedule, the style. We went to parks. We spent a lot of time looking at things. And then this one day it wasn't all sunshine and roses. I was a single mom for most of the time I was raising my daughters, and I was a working mother. I had never been a stay-at-home mom. So having the care of two boys, which I didn't have boys. I mean, I grew up with boys, but it's different when you're the responsible party, that were 3 years old when I started taking care of them. It was like herding feral cats. I didn't know anything what I was doing, and it was really long, 12 to 14-hour days. I loved them with all my heart, and then sometimes at 7:30 I'd want to shake them or smack them. And this particular day, which I don't believe in hitting children, but that's how hard it was. They wouldn't get dressed, and we were going to meet neighbors, and I said, if we don't get going, we're not going to make it, as they're like throwing their clothes at each other and acting crazy, running around naked. And I'm furious because we're going to be late, but all we're doing is meeting a stay-at-home mom and her kids to go somewhere to the park. It wasn't like we had a command performance with the Queen.
Right.
And so Quincy, who we call the Buddha boy, the other one is the accountant for the most obvious of reasons in terms of their personalities. Quincy was standing on top of my couch, which he wasn't supposed to do, and he said, while we get going, now remember, this is a 3-year-old, just a little bit over 3. While we get going, can we look at the dirt? My head wanted to explode, but the back of my neck started tingling. And I just sort of, like how if you lift up a kitten by the scruff of their neck, the divine had kind of grabbed me there and said, pay attention. And I said, Quincy, why do you want to look in the dirt? And he said, there's treasure in the dirt. And I got full body chills, and that started me on my path to here. Now, really translated, what does all that mean? There is treasure everywhere. There are miracles everywhere. There is bounty, beauty, blessings, lessons in the blessings, in the challenges, but you have to be present enough to see them. There is treasure in the dirt. If you're not present and still and willing to get down and pay attention and look, you'll miss it. That's what I learned, and that set me on this path of awakening and expanding and opening, where I am now 63. I've been out here 10 years and just had my 63rd birthday in January, where I actually am serving, supporting, and helping people in the way that I always sought to, and just didn't even know that that's what I was meant to do. Because, I mean, you don't get woo-woo training in school,
No, there is no woo-woo, which is unfortunate because
right?
it would be great. It would be great. Even if there was just a little woo, would be great.
Half of a woo-woo, right?
Half of a woo-woo.
That's
yes,
great,
would
Tammy.
be good. Oh, man. So, okay, so once you started sort of opening up and realizing this, sort of what brought you to working with people and really finding, because I know that you talk about like challenges and blocks, right? Like the example you just said, like there's treasures in the dirt, right? So you talk about challenges and blocks that we face, and especially the ones that sort of repeat, are actually asking us to go deeper. So I feel like now I'm asking you too many questions. So the first question is, how did you start working? How did you start working with people? And then we'll go to that second question of how people can go deeper into those challenges.
I went through a couple of different programs that were very pivotal for me. One was an Academy for the Soul, which is, woo-woo training. And the other was Your Year of Miracles, which was a women's mentoring group. And between the two, I began to get a stronger sense of what my intuitive gifts were that initially was opened up in the way of angel readings. And then the other aspect was I was given the gift of the question of what do people come to you for? What are you naturally good at? What is something you have always done that people say you're great at? And it was giving advice. And when I put the two together, because even to the extent of people I barely know will come to me and bare their souls. And sometimes I'm learning things, like in a work context back when I was a lawyer, that I don't want to know this about you. We work together. I really don't want to know this. But I didn't turn away. I had the strength, the fearlessness, and the fortitude to hold space for people even when I didn't know that that's what I was doing. So when I realized that not only am I able to do angel readings, that would be, using cards or channeling from the divine realm, giving people messages and information guidance, but I also had the other abilities. I'm pretty evenly balanced, clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient, clairgnostic, and when you put all that together, my life skills, my natural ability, the natural energetic frequency that I hold that makes people feel safe to share their deepest, darkest secrets and fears with me, together with that opening to all those clairs that I have, so that when I'm working with people, whether we're doing energetic work and healing, or we're doing something more of like the angel reading, getting guidance, or it is more intuitive spiritual counseling, I bring all that together so that people can see the answers to their questions and find their way forward on their path to living their life on purpose, with me guiding them and supporting them in seeing where they're holding. Because you made a very good point earlier that people think they're open to receiving, but if you're holding stored, trapped, trauma, dense, stagnant energy, where is that new stuff supposed to go? If you pack a box full and don't take anything out, there's very little, even light is only a little bit's going to get in because the box is already full.
Yes.
So I know you had a lot of things in your question, and now I have a lot of things in my answer, and I don't know if I even answered your question. But if you ask me another, I'll start again.
Yes. No, you did. Yeah, both of us, I think, are just, there's too much information swirling around in our brains. Okay, so here's my question, and then I'm going to go back to the original other question, because you were talking about being open, right? And so obviously if we're trying to improve our life in some way, if we are feeling stuck in some way, and we want to manifest the changes, whether that be money, relationship, abundance, and other areas, you talk about being open to receive. How do we know if we are open or not? How can we, anybody listening here right now might be thinking, I'm wide open, like I'm ready, like let's let it in. How do we know if we are open or if there's more work to do in that area?
Well, I think the easiest barometer for that is how often are you in fear? How often are you in a state where you feel constricted and resistant to something? Do you get angry? Is that every time you get in the car, are you gripping the steering wheel and on the verge of road rage? Are you arguing with people? Are you yelling at the TV? These are all minor. Do you have a lot of physical illnesses and ailments and aches and pains? These are all signals that you're holding stuff that isn't in your highest good, that is not in an expansive frequency. And if this is what you're experiencing, even at very minor levels, then you know that you have some opening and some clearing to do to create space to receive higher frequencies, not those low ones. And I think the most important thing is we've all got them. You go through a challenging day, and it may be challenging because of the external energy. It may not be challenging because of anything that you're doing. We're still in a tremendous time of breakdown, a tremendous shift from shadow to light to higher vibrational frequencies. In the last few years, the Schumann resonance of the Earth has amped up tremendously. I mean, that's science. It's measurable. The Earth is embodying higher frequencies and greater light. And if you're not in alignment with that, it's like what's coming to mind is all the training that an astronaut has to go through to be able to take the entry into and out of our Earth's field. And if you aren't trained and ready for those gravity shifts and issues, then you're going to have a lot of problems and experience a lot of pain and dysfunction. So that's how we know, as regular human beings, not astronauts, that we're out of alignment. So, for example, right now, I've had a long-standing battle with squirrels. Back in Chicago, they did a lot of damage, and I was evil, like screaming, shooting them with water, yelling. Well, a squirrel just was digging in my garden, and I got up and opened the door, and I looked at him. No anger, no frustration. I know he's digging. He's, potentially damaging that plant. I opened the door and looked at him and with my mind said, you need to go, and he ran off. But there's no charge. I don't have a charge anymore because, honestly, it's a small thing, it would seem, right? But my reaction to the invasion of squirrels in what I consider to be my area, which is my plants, hey, man, he lives outside. I'm just a visitor to his world in his view. But in the way I was reacting to squirrels was as if they were home invaders. Right. And I had to shift that in order for me to come into alignment and to be able to receive what more the divine has for me. So you can look at it any variety of ways by taking an assessment of how you are flowing through life and what emotions and physical feelings you have, or you can just say there's always more work to be done, because there is always more work to be done. Yes. That doesn't mean that's not it's terrible, I'll never. No, we're ever evolving. That's the point of the journey, is evolution, awakening, expanding. It's not that we're failures. You see, that's that shame. That shame I felt when I woke up on a Thursday morning, hungover on my couch in my work clothes, that created density in me that I carried and had to then later clear. There is no arriving. We're never done. When we're done, then we leave. Right. So the whole time we're here, we're always going to be working to receive more and be of greater service. And I love that you said the picture that I was getting in my head when you were talking a little bit about, there are these higher frequencies available to us, and they are around us, and it's almost like they're there, they're available. It's not like that. It's not like we have to really seek them. We just have to remove the blocks within us that are keeping them from entering us, that are keeping us from being able to receive those frequencies that will put us in that flow, that will
allow us to receive all of the blessings that are just sort of waiting outside of us.
Absolutely. And part of it is also consciously choosing to tap into those higher frequencies so that instead of letting yourself go into anger or fear because it's justified by the external circumstances, you take a breath and you say, thank you for showing me that. You can go now. And then you re-plug in to that higher frequency of abundance, of love, and above. It's on us. We have free will. So the divine cannot override our free will, except in those limited circumstances where you're about to crash and burn. That's why, and even then, was the divine overriding my free will? No, they were giving me messages. Once, when I almost crashed, when I fell asleep driving after being out all night partying, and I felt a snatch up of my head and slammed on the brakes and stopped literally 2 inches from a concrete divider in an underpass. That's the only time that the divine actually interfered physically, because we have free will. And you have to be willing to choose higher each and every moment of each and every day. It's not enough to say I'm open to receiving and then think you can go about your business doing the same stuff. You've got to change your evil ways, people. I did.
Yes. Okay, so now I want to go back to the challenges question because I like the way that you view challenges or blocks. So the things that you talk about and teach are basically when we have a challenge or a block in our life, especially those that sort of tend to repeat in our lives where, you know, maybe we break out but then we find ourselves back in the same sort of situation. I like that you look at our challenges and blocks as an actual, like, invitation to open ourselves up and go deeper. So can you explain not only that, but also how do we do that?
Okay, so first, the lessons that we came here, the experiences that we came here to have, and the lessons we came to learn, the amends, if you will, the karma that we came to work out, to overcome, anything that we set about when we sort of created, if you will, our life plan before we incarnated in this life, when we're too far off the track of what we said we came here to do when we met with our divine team and said, okay, sign me up, I'm going back, and here's what I'd like to work on, and they gave you the list. You know, I'm kind of just making this up. I'm not saying this is literally how it is, but I see it right now. There's a conference room table. You're on one side, they're on the other. You say, I'm ready. And they say, okay, you've been cleared for incarnation. What would you like to achieve? You give your idea, then they pull out your list, you know, your big scroll of what you still have left from your past life. So you have to add that on, and then you come on down and you go through life, right? Well, when you get a little too off to the side, they're going to tap you on the head and say, hey, don't you remember you're supposed to be working on this? Yeah, I'm not paying attention to that. Okay, time goes. Then they smack you on the side of the head. And if you still don't listen, it's going to be a sledgehammer eventually to the back of your head. That's, that voice I heard saying, like it was in the room with me, you will not survive if you continue to do this. It was not a mean voice, but it was very firm. It was very clear that it was true. So that was somewhat the sledgehammer to the back of the head, because that is what in certain ancient wisdom, spiritual traditions is called a tikkun. You are reminded of the lessons you came here to learn, the work you are here to do with these divine promptings that get stronger and stronger and stronger if you don't listen. For example, you need to move on from a job and you're not listening, you're going to get fired. The company's going to fold. You need to get out of a relationship and you're not listening, something's going to happen. You're going to get caught out doing something that you're doing on the side because the relationship's not fulfilling, or vice versa. So if we can, instead of receiving these sort of life smack in the head situations with anxiety and anger and a reaction if instead we meet it with gratitude.
Yeah.
Thank you for showing me and guiding me and directing me. And what is the blessing in this lesson? My friend, colleague and friend of mine used that term blessing a few months back, and I said, oh, that's good. Can I use it? Sure, because it's the blessing in the lesson.
Mm-hmm.
So if you, instead of reacting to the challenges of your life, if you shift into a state of responding, which requires neutrality, you can't, firstly, you can't skip the feelings. You can't do a spiritual bypass and be all blissed out because that's what you want to be. You have to deal with the pain and the problems. So you feel what's happening. You feel your emotions, and then you let them go. That's that. Thank you for showing me you're still here. You can go now. And then you sit there and breathe and begin to contemplate and reflect. What is the beauty? What is the lesson? What am I to learn in this challenge? I had COVID recently, and it was quite an interesting experience because I went through a range of emotions. I've done everything I'm supposed to do. I stay home alone a lot, and, yet here I am. So my first layer was annoyance and frustration and anger. I'm doing all the right things. Why do I have it? Well, as I inquired at that first level, it was like, okay, but through the holidays, which have been over for 3 weeks, you've been totally off your feed, meaning I'm eating all the things I know my body can't process and handle, gluten, sugar, dairy, all this stuff. And you think that you can do that and just sail on through? You opened the door for this. So that was the first level of knowing that came in, and there were many others in the 10 days that I was really sick, and even in the weeks since where I've had to say, oh, I'm still beating myself up for how much I am or am not producing in a day. I still have a to-do list. It's necessary. It's not the same thing as it was before. It's not insane. It's not super satisfying to check things off. It's more actually related to what needs to be done. That's good. I got that done. And I've shifted the way I do things. What's the thing I most don't want to do on my to-do list? That's what I'm starting with. So I was able to observe in that time of sickness how even though I've changed a lot of the behaviors around the pressure I used to put and the way I used to let my left brain run me, I'm still holding that now I can't produce because I'm sick. That was so crazy. Long story long, the more that you can look at every challenge from that perspective of what is the gift in this challenge and how may I receive that gift, the more you're going to release the density, the blocks, the stagnation, create space to receive, and in that act of consciously choosing to send gratitude to the challenge, you are signaling the divine, I am ready to receive more higher vibrational light, freedom codes, up-leveling the whole 9 yards. Because you remain in a state of surrender where you're not holding and gripping onto anything so tightly that it can't be taken away by the energetic forces that are here to support us when we're willing to release and let go. It's not like you have to go to a hospital and get surgery and have 3 weeks of rehab. It's not that kind of letting go. It's not that kind of cutting out. It's a flow of this doesn't resonate, let me let this go so that I can align with what does resonate and lifts me higher into what more is possible for me.
Yes, I love that. I love that because I live by and teach to people that everything in your life is happening to lead you to your highest good, to the place where you're supposed to be. The good, the bad, the indifferent, it all has a purpose, it all has a meaning. So just shifting that belief in that, life is not doing this to me, this is not happening to me, this is not just a horrible thing that I've attracted to myself, that everything is just sort of leading you where you're supposed to go. And like you said, sometimes it's a gentle nudge, and sometimes it's a smack upside the head if you haven't listened to some of those gentle nudges. So I love that you view things that way. Now I know that, as an energy healer, you do different activations, and I know that you want to walk us through a process here that will up-level our chakras with the new freedom codes that you talk about. So can you share sort of what this process is going to do for us and then walk us through it?
Absolutely. So when I was meditating this morning, not even knowing if we were going to, because we hadn't discussed whether you wanted me to do a process, the team came in and said, you're to do a process on Tammy's show. And I said, okay, cool, dude, what are we doing? And so they said, we're going to cleanse, we're going to release, and then we're going to go to the crystal cave and up-level everyone's chakras with the new freedom code so that your frequency is tuned into the same reception, the same level of the frequency of the freedom codes so that you can feel that sensation and therefore tap into it more readily as you go forward in your life. Because ultimately, all the work I do is empowering you to do it all for yourself. I mean, if I don't free you out of the nest of working with me so that you can do everything you need to do within and from yourself, then I'm not doing my job. So that's part of the point of this activation, is to give everyone the sense, the feeling, the sensation of what it feels like to be aligned with the new freedom codes so that you can receive those frequencies more readily on a daily basis.
Perfect.
So, you ready?
Yes.
All right. So let us begin the activation of up-leveling our chakras with the new freedom codes. So close your eyes and take a couple deep, easy breaths to just shed all the trappings of the day, all the talk, all the thoughts, and just come into an awareness of your breath flowing in and out. And now bring your attention to your heart space. Imagine that you can step inside and be nestled within the energy of your heart space. And from there, we're going to connect above, send a diamond white light up to the star of your choosing, wrap it around that star, and draw that heavenly energy back down to your heart space. Now we're going to connect and ground into the earth. Mother Earth is always there supporting us. So imagine a stout gold grounding cord extending from your heart all the way down your torso, past your feet, out the soles of your feet, into the center of the earth where there's a golden grace light ball of heat and energy that is the heart of Mother. Lock your grounding cord in Mother's heart and feel the nourishing, expanding, grounding, sustaining, supporting energy flow back up from that grace light ball all the way back up to your heart space. Beautiful. Take a deep breath in and turn your attention to the very center of your heart where there is a 0 set point, the power button. Just imagine it. Push it, activate it, and release the new consciousness grid, an infinitely expanding sphere of grid lines. Release that out from the whole of you and infuse the grid with golden grace light. Feel into this sacred, synchronized state of stability, as above, so below. Now bring your attention back to your heart space and notice that deeper within your heart, there's a portal. It's an opening. It may come to you as a point of light or an actual opening, or just imagine that there is a portal that you can pass through to leave your heart space and move into the infinite field of all that is, this beautiful quantum meadow in the 5th dimension. So pass through that portal into the meadow And there in the center of the meadow, you will see a circular clearing shimmering with luminescent white light. I want you to walk over to that clearing and step on it. Walk to the middle of it. Feel the sensation bubbling under your feet as you open the trap doors on the soles of your feet and allow this luminescent light to begin drawing out all density, stagnation, stickiness, gelatinous, calcified crud that is anywhere in your body that does not match the frequency of abundance. Direct that out and down, out and down, out and down into this circular clearing. Take a deep breath in and exhale with some sound, releasing anything with the breath that's ready to go. Lovely. Now walk out of that circular clearing. Over on the left, there's a waterfall. We're going to do a cleanse of the other three bodies. We've released from your physical body. Now walk over to that waterfall so that we can release from the emotional, mental, and energetic bodies. Step under the water. Feel it cascading in through and as it hits your crown. And direct the other three bodies, as well as the physical, no reason to limit that, to release all dis-ease, all trauma, all trapped emotions, all energetic density that is lodged, clinging to, stuck within any of your four bodies. Keep breathing. Allow that water to cascade through you, taking gently with it anything that no longer serves. Step out of the waterfall and just shake the water off and take a moment to observe how you feel having been cleansed from above and below here in this quantum meadow. By observing what's happening during the course of an activation, you invite the integration of the new in at deeper levels into the more dense energy that makes up your physical body. So always take time to observe what's happening. And now walk over to the right side of the meadow. There on the right side of the meadow is a cave opening. Walk into that cave and notice who is present. Divine Mother, Archangel Michael, Gabrielle, Raphael, Metatron, and for some of you, you will notice other of the angelic realm as well as some of your ancestors who are here. Just take a moment from within this beautiful cave to greet everyone who is present to assist you in upleveling your chakras with the new freedom codes. They gesture you within, deeper within the cave, and you enter a beautiful cavern that has all the colors of the rainbow. All the crystals and gemstones have lines within this crystalline cave. And you are to walk to the center where there's a beautiful, like a golden spotlight. Move into that spotlight and come into a comfortable, easy stance. We will begin with the root chakra. Feel in to your first chakra, the root. Look out into the cave and notice the vein of red jasper is activating and aiming like a laser beam towards your root chakra. Receive the frequency, energy, and the light of red jasper into your root chakra as it expands, regenerates, and recalibrates to flow at the level of abundance, with the new freedom codes. Breathe that in as you now draw your attention to the second chakra, the Sacral Chakra, just below your navel. And look out to where the carnelian and orange calcite veins are activating. Receive the frequency and energy of these colors, of these crystals, and of the new freedom codes into your sacral chakra, activating and expanding that center that is your place of creativity, passion, fun, inspiration, adventure, regenerating, recalibrating, expanding the sacral chakra to flow in attunement and alignment with the new freedom codes. Take a deep breath in and move your attention above your navel to the solar plexus, to your power center. Notice where the yellow jade vein and the citrine vein in the cave are activating, and receive those laser beams of light on all sides of your power center. Feel the power of you, your ability to strongly and fearlessly, courageously stand in your own power, shining full out. This is the level to which your solar plexus is being recalibrated, regenerated, and recharged in alignment with the new freedom codes. Breathe in and raise your attention to your heart chakra. Notice the vein of green aventurine and that of jade as well as emerald, all activating, and receive these energies into your heart, letting them fill in cracks from grief, from loss, from love's lost, from betrayal. All of that is being filled in with these bountiful, sacred energies, healing and opening, creating a greater sense of trust in your heart and in receiving as well as giving love. All love, only love. Your heart is recalibrated, regenerated, and realigned with the love of the new freedom codes. Breathe in as you bring your attention to your throat chakra. Notice the lapis lazuli vein and the blue topaz are aimed all sides at your throat, expanding your ability to speak the truth and light of you to yourself and to others. The throat is recalibrated, regenerated, all is recalculated to flow with the new freedom codes. Raise your attention to the third eye, that chakra that is at the center of your head in between your eyebrows, and receive the frequency of purple jasper and amethyst. Feel into the expansion of your pineal gland as it is infused with these frequencies that open you to that greater wisdom and truth that is already within you. Standing firmly within the state of receptivity to all of your intuitive gifts, the third eye is recalibrated in alignment with the new freedom codes. We move up now to the seventh chakra, the crown. The clear Lemurian quartz vein and the diamond vein are activated. Receive these frequencies now into your crown chakra. It is being recalibrated, regenerated, and realigned with the new freedom codes. It is done. It is done. It is done. Take a deep breath in and just observe how your energy centers feel in this new state of alignment with these higher vibrational frequencies. Step out of that inner chamber back into the opening of the cave Take a moment to extend gratitude and love to all of the divine beings who have been present today to assist in this up-leveling, cleansing, clearing, and integration. And then walk out through the meadow, back to that portal. Pause before you enter the portal, glancing back over, reflecting on all that's happened here in the infinite field of all that is, and of all that you're bringing back with you as you pass through that portal into your heart space. Take a moment to breathe in. As you turn your attention to the outer bounds of your aura, imagine pouring liquid platinum to shield your aura, and then stud it with diamond mirror tiles so that all this new luscious energy that you've brought back with you from the meadow remains within you, and anyone else's energy that comes towards you is reflected back to them. You can connect, light your way, be seen, see others without mixing energy. So as you come all the way back to now, right here, right now with me, we say, Mother, Father, God, source of all that is, all divine beings and wise one teams, as well as ancestors who have been here today to assist in this activation to up-level chakras with the new freedom codes for this week. Give great thanks, extend much love, and so it is. So now as you're ready, open your eyes and just gently take a look about the space you're in, noticing what's come in and what's left. Always noticing, always being present. Thank you, my friends, for allowing me to take you on this journey.
Oh, wow, that was so good. First of all, I love all things crystal, so that totally vibed with me because I was like, oh, crystals, that's my home. I love crystals.
Mm-hmm.
So I loved it. And Archangel Raphael was the one who was first and foremost for me in the cave, so that was pretty cool. I was happy to see him.
Excellent.
Yes, that was awesome. I love that, and I loved and I mean I say this every time. You don't know, but everybody who listens all the time knows the way that I clear energy is I tend to yawn. And so right when you got to that seventh chakra, like that top, the crown chakra, I started yawning, and then I yawned a couple times until the end. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to tell you was when I was going through the waterfall, when we walked into the waterfall to clear our emotional, I literally felt my entire physical body just sort of like drop, like I hunched over, and I just felt like a burden had been lifted off of me, and like my whole body sort of became heavy, which was really awesome. So I just want to share that.
Congratulations.
Yes, I just want to share that with everybody. If you guys have any similar experiences or anything you'd like to share, let us know. And okay, speaking of activations, I want to go to the free gift and then the special offer, and then we're going to go to the phone line. So,
okay.
For those of you who are listening again, whether it's live or on the replay, underneath that audio player, you see the free gift and the special offer button. So starting with the free gift, if you guys click on that button, it will take you to get a free activation from Beth to clear and protect your space. It's a 20-minute energetically infused activation that will help you experience clearing, cleansing, and freeing your space from dense, lower vibrational energy, and then in turn infusing the space with a higher vibrational frequency that will better serve you. So, Beth, how should we use this? Is this something that we can listen to? Would you recommend daily? Would you recommend weekly? And what are we going to experience with this?
You can do this particular activation. Not all of them can be done daily, but this one can be done daily, and it's not going to overload you because it's, in a sense, you being the channel, the steward for the energy of your space. It's not the same as when you're doing energy work on your body, which can get overloaded if you do too much and then you start having weird physical reactions. It is also not necessary to do it every day. You can do it once a week. You can do it once a month. You need to trust. That's a huge part of expanding into what more is possible for you, is trusting. So if you get a sense, I need to use the clear and protect your space activation because it's, the energy is just a little dense in my space, then do it. If you don't need it, don't. And take whatever comes through you when you're doing it, and then use that. Like what you just said, Tammy, that Raphael came through very prominently for you in the activation that we just did. Well, let's say that happened while you were doing the activation to clear and protect your space, and you get a sense and a knowing of, I can work with Raphael to keep my space clear. You may take that and then do your own version of it. Be free and trust.
Yes, I love that. Okay, that's awesome. So you guys definitely check out that free gift. And then for the special offers, there's actually two. There's Package A and Package B. Package B basically includes everything you're getting in Package A plus a 30-minute one-on-one session with Beth. So I'm going to go through, there's a lot in this package. So I want to go through Package A and then just know that Package B includes that 30-minute one-on-one session. So the package itself is all about manifesting abundance in the age of Aquarius with the new consciousness grid and freedom codes, which is what Beth shares and teaches about. So, Beth, can you sort of share overall what this package is going to help people with, and then I want to sort of go through and we'll take the different items of what people are getting.
Overall, it's going to educate, illuminate, expand, and awaken you to how you can support yourself using the tools in the package to stay aligned with the new energies and frequencies and light.
Yes, and actually receive them so that we can manifest these changes, which is awesome. So, yes. Okay, so the first item in the package is a 2-part workshop called Aligning with the New Consciousness Grid and New Freedom Codes. So what does this share with people? Because I know there's a energetically infused 90-minute teaching call and then a live quantum energy lab that's going to be taking place in April.
So the thing that came through to me when I first started this work and began creating with the divine, with the universe, was that I needed to teach people what's happening in their bodies and brains and how they can use the new science to understand why this or that is happening. So that's the teaching part, right? If I teach it in a workshop, then in each individual session, we can hone right in on what you need, and I don't have to tell you all the stuff that you need to know in order to maintain that. So you, in the first part of the workshop, the teaching part, are going to get a lot of information that will help you understand where you need to focus. And then as you go through the course materials, the 5 daily practice points lays it out in a very simple way what you need to have in your daily practice to support yourself in being able to receive and stay aligned. There's 5 steps to move through a challenge, an exercise in intention setting, the 4-body connection quiz, and understanding your 4 bodies. That's all part of the course materials that when you apply that to the information that you receive in the teaching in the lecture, you vastly empower yourself to make higher choices, to even understand this is a choice for me to feel crappy right now, for you to understand how to shift from judging yourself, shaming, blaming yourself, to saying, okay, thank you. I appreciate you showing me you're there. You can go now. I'm choosing higher. So all that teaching is done there. So when we work privately, we don't have to do the basics. You're going to do that on your own and be ready to move forward, to receive. You see, we started the conversation. We bring it back around to here. To be open to receiving, you have to create a receptive container, and doing the work through the workshop and the course materials to understand where you need to shift some of what you're doing to align with the higher frequencies is what you get out of that. And then the QEL, the Quantum Energy Lab, is a group setting where you still get to engage with me, channeling whatever you need, doing energy healing, getting messages, guidance, whatever it is that you need to move forward through whatever you're facing in that moment. And the nice kind of catch-all way to deal with that, if you don't have anything specific or if you're shy, is just to say, what does my higher self want me to know? And then you get a reading.
Yes. And so I just want to point out that this workshop is actually live, and it's happening in April. So if you see on that page, it includes that teaching call Friday, April 16th, and then it also includes that live quantum energy lab with the readings and the energy healings, and that's on Saturday, April 24th. So, and you get all of those materials and everything that comes with it. That is just one thing in the package, though. So that's happening in April. You're also going to get immediate access to 4 channeled energy infused, I'm not going to say this word right, activations. So can you say what is this? It's Fibonacci? Okay,
Fibonacci.
There you go. Oh, it sounds Italian. That's good. Okay,
Fibonacci. It is Italian.
Oh, there you go. Okay, perfect. I'm Italian, so I resonate. Okay, so 4 channeled energy-infused Fibonacci series activations, and you're getting immediate access to that as well. So what are these 4 activations, and how can we use them?
So the Fibonacci sequence is it's both naturally recurring in nature, so you can see it it's a spiral, and it comes in flowers, and it is the natural sequence of the order of exponential expansion. It also mathematically is a series of numbers that is very simple, but basically you add 1 and 1, you get 2. Then you add 2 with the 1, you get 3. You add 3 to 2, you get 5. And in that mathematical sequence is the expression of everything exponentially expanding in nature. It's a natural law that everything expands in the way of the sequence of the Fibonacci. It can be and has been, the patterns have been used by traders to successfully trade on the stock market. There's all manner of ways that the Fibonacci series and sequence has and can be applied. And in these activations, you get a sense of what is possible for you to receive in an exponentially expansive way by bypassing, if you will, the left brain mental mind idea that we have to work hard and you have to do this and then you have to do that and this is the path to abundance, this is the path to financial prosperity. You've got to work and you've got to earn. No, you don't. You have to receive. That's what we do in the Fibonacci activations. So these are ones that you have to feel into. It's not like they may be okay for you to do one every day. They may not. You need to feel into them, because if you just listen to them, like you would any recording, not much is necessarily going to be experienced. If you go in at the deeper level and receive it as an ongoing activation of your energy, then you need to be discerning as to how much your body can handle. I mentioned this before. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. But your body and material things, the couch, the floor, the chair, the table, that's denser energy, and it takes more energy to infuse into it for there to be a shift. And it takes greater time, therefore, for your body to integrate the new energy. So you want to really discern how often to do it. They're very powerful. There's nothing dangerous in it. I don't want to give anybody that impression by saying they're very powerful. It's just that if you really are ready to expand, this series is going to really give you the best results.
Yes. And then, in addition to that, there's recordings, I believe, of 3 monthly energy healing calls that you did, and they're going to get those MP3s as well. So, what are these?
So there's 3 of them. The first is installation of the new light codes and fifth dimensional violet flame frequency. And the second is up-leveling the new light codes in the forest of light, which is really beautiful. This beautiful forest that is like all the trees and all the components in it are made of light. It's absolute. Of course, that's something you're seeing with your mind's eye, with your inner eye, because these are MP3s, not videos, so I don't want anybody to think they're going to get a visual. I don't prefer videos because they take you into the external as opposed to the internal. I want you to be interned where you can receive. So the third one is the sacred energetic bonfire and release, which actually I guess I could say that one might be nice to do first for the same reason as the process we did today. First we clear, first we release, and that creates space, and then we receive. So you might want to consider trying those in that order instead, with the sacred energetic bonfire and release being done first. These come from a monthly energy healing call that I do the first Saturday of every month. And when people actually, it's about a 60 to a 90-minute call once a month, and the ongoing nature of it is very deep and expansive because every time you come together in a group, like we are right now, an M field, a morphogenetic field, is created, and there is energy that is created by that group coming together. So in the monthly energy healing call, since we're doing this every month, we have a very powerful and expansive M field that supports you in the work to open, to receive, and to up-level. So check those out and see how they work for you, because it's a very powerful healing call that we do every month.
Yes. And honestly, all of these activations, I'm assuming, are going to be tools that are going to allow, and in addition to that live workshop that you're doing as well, are tools that are going to allow people to do the clearing, do the releasing, open themselves up, and then in doing that, and then in letting in that, that the freedom codes and the different things that you teach and talk about, letting in that energy and opening up to receive, that's when they will start seeing changes in the physical world, whether that be the physical body, whether that be abundance or what have you. Is that correct?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay. And I want to talk about the bonuses. And again, we're just in Package A. We'll go to Package B, which is everything that we're talking about here plus the reading. But the bonuses are, you actually add 2 bonuses to the package with the live workshop and all those activations, is the 3 Clearing Your Meridians to Expand Your Flow video, which includes an instructional PDF. What is this video?
So we have chakras. We have more than just the 7, but the 7 main ones on the body are what most people are familiar with. We also have hundreds of meridians, which are energetic channel, pathway, opening, however you want to describe it, throughout the body. And those also need to be cleared. It's like if you think of straining something through a colander, if all the holes in the colander are plugged up, nothing is going to get through. It's not going to drain. So that's kind of the way the meridians work. They bring energy in and take energy out that doesn't need to be there. And if they're blocked, they can't do their job. And this is a video because you have to see what you're doing in order to do it. So that's the Clearing Your Meridians.
Oh, I love that. And then the second bonus is called the Golden Waterfall Meditation, which is an MP3. So what is this meditation?
So it's based on the Japanese principle of Joshin Kokyo Ho, of how you can use the visualization, the inner image of a golden waterfall to realign, to cleanse, to clear, and open all the pathways within you that energetically can get clogged and dense. It's a really beautiful, soothing, it'd be nice to listen to last thing of the day as you're laying in bed. It's very relaxing, very soothing, and it's also very powerful. I like this golden waterfall meditation just because of the ease of it, the peace of it, and that it is also doing the work for you without you feeling like you're having to do the work, if that makes sense. It's a very peaceful, easy meditation.
Perfect. Okay, so that is package A. Now, package B includes all of that, the live workshop in April, all the activations, the healing calls, the 2 bonuses, and a 30-minute private one-on-one session with Beth, which combines, the energy, the healing work, and divine guidance on what's next for you. So, Beth, can you share sort of what people will get out of this and how you work with them in these one-on-one sessions?
So I have a process that I do to assist people in healing density and opening to the, the regeneration of their abundance frequency. Mm-hmm. And we also tune into what the specific needs are of the person. So someone, we may spend more time just on the regeneration. Another person, we may actually be healing parts of your body, working on energetic blocks and density. For someone else, you may be getting more guidance and answers to questions that you have about aspects of your life and what you need to do to move forward from this, or what more is possible for you. You might have questions about what your intuitive gifts are. We can handle anything, because the whole way that I work is to receive with your permission, of course, which comes from when you engage with work with me. I have this way of seeing inner eye all of your bodies and can see where things are out of alignment. So there's a lot of divine inspiration and guidance and presence, as well as powerful energetic frequencies that are supporting the work of whatever it is you need to move forward into flowing in greater manifestation and alignment with abundance in all things. That's what we do. That's the work we do in these sessions.
Yes, I love it. And I love the testimonials that we included under this, where someone actually says, run, don't walk, and have a session. Woke up pain-free, cleared a major financial block. Like, I love it. I think that's so amazing. Okay, so that's the deal. There's package A, package B. Package B includes that one-on-one session with Beth, plus everything that we talked about. Now, do you have time, Beth, to stick around and go to the phone lines with some people?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, awesome. So how do you want to work? Do you want people to just give you their first name, and do you want them to ask a question, or do you want to just sort of bring what's coming through?
We can do it either way, but the main thing is don't go into story, because I don't need the story, and it also kind of, it's activating the incorrect part of you. We don't need your left brain involved in the work, and when you start telling story, that's what you're activating. You want your attention the other way. So you can ask whatever question you want. You can ask, where do I most need to open to abundance? And if you need to tell me, 1 or 2 sentences of what's happening, that's fine. If I need to know more, I'll ask. Just don't go into a bunch of story.
Yes. Okay, perfect. Yeah. And if we can kind of keep it definitely shorter, because I'd like to get to as many people as possible. There's so many of you here on the phone line today. So what I'm going to do is I will say your city and state and the first part of your phone number, unmute your line, and then you will be on with Beth. Okay, so I'm starting with Roselle, Illinois, and it's 847-471. Let me unmute. Hi, you're on with Beth.
Is that me?
It's
I
you.
think so, yes.
Oh, fabulous. Oh, how exciting.
Hi, who is this?
This is Donna. This is Donna.
Hi, Donna.
And this is lovely. Thank you, Beth and Tammy. So my question is around issues of lack and energy, specifically having to do with selling my home.
Okay. So, all right. I want you to close your eyes and imagine the center of your home. In the very center of your home, underneath it, there is a vortex that is going clockwise, but it's connected to the energy of the house, prior owners, and you. And it's keeping the energy of you and the prior owners in the house stuck in this vortex, so it's not allowing the house to have the energetic shimmering, the light that it needs to attract a new buyer. So you want to close that. It's like a portal, if you will. You want to close it, let it sink into the earth. Let's do it right now. Close your eyes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Imagine that. Feel into, and just imagine, if you don't actually see it or sense it, that vortex that is creating stagnation in the house, not transferring from you to another owner. It's very dark, and we're going to bring in Archangel Michael with his powerful sword. He is right underneath the energetic aspect of your house where that vortex is, bringing his sword, cutting it cleanly through, and directing that vortex down into Mother Earth, donating that energy to her healing. Take a deep breath in and see that area sealed with luminescent white light. There you go. That's it. Now you can open your eyes, and you want to continue to send light underneath your house to lift it. It would also be very good to daily set 4 columns or pillars of light in the 4 corners of the property, infusing them with the light and frequency of the day that you're called to. Perhaps love, perhaps light, perhaps the next steward for this house is what the house is saying. Call in the next steward for me. And then whatever you want to put in the 4th column. Just do that daily. And Michael is saying, I believe it's St. Joseph you bury upside down in the yard, a statue of St. Joseph. He's saying feel free to do that as well.
Okay, so quick question. I mean, that feels good. And to say that there's a vortex wasn't a huge surprise. I've been here quite a while. Love the property, and my desire, it keeps coming up, is to be able to renovate the property. But now I've got this intersection of finances versus. So is releasing that, can that help bring in financial abundance? So maybe I can go that direction, or do I need to just really focus in one direction?
You need to focus in one direction, but you need to decide and discern what is the direction that's in your highest interest to go. Is it to sell? Is it to open to manifesting the funds to up-level the property? So that's the work.
Right.
Buy the package. We'll figure it out.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Okay. All right.
Perfect.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, Donna.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and it is 416929.
Hello.
Hi, you are on. Yes, you're on with Beth.
Hello.
What an absolutely wonderful call. Thank you so much, Beth.
Oh, you're so welcome. What's your name, dear?
Alexis.
Hello, Alexis. How may we serve and support you today?
I need help with being congruent. I say one thing and then I self-sabotage myself and do completely the opposite.
Okay, so there's a lot of constriction in your throat chakra. I would encourage you to work on that. The energy from your throat is funneling outward through your left shoulder. So there's a drag and a drain out, making it more difficult for you to feel the full truth and light of you in a way that is strong and confident. So you need to kind of pull the energy that's leaking out through your left shoulder in and expand the energy, the color, the sensation of your throat chakra. There's some old stuff and patterning that needs to be cleared. There's some personas, which are aspects of subconscious aspects of us that fracture off from the whole during a traumatic time, a point of pain. It could be in this life, past life, in our genealogical, familial timelines that is making it difficult for you to be congruent with your truth. But starting from a focus on releasing the density, calling back the energy that's leaking out, and expanding your trust and confidence in your throat chakra, in the truth of you, is going to make a huge difference.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. The Sacred Energy Bonfire and Release that's part of the package, the MP3, would be very valuable for you to use to work on that throat issue.
And if I get a private session with you, how long does it take before you can see me, or you know what I mean?
There are appointments, I think, as early as next week and over the next couple of weeks, but you can always, if nothing serves, you just email me and say, I looked at the appointment links and nothing works, what can you do, and I'll fit you in.
Great. Thank you so much, ladies.
Perfect.
You're so
Thank
welcome,
you.
Alexis. Much love to you, dear.
You too.
Awesome. Okay.
I just want to say really quick that there's something there. I don't know what it is, but there's some energy around Alexis where, that I said dear to her twice. That's not a word I use, but there's some grandmother energy, Alexis, that wants to support you, so allow that in.
Oh, I love that. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to Alexandria, Minnesota, it looks like, 320763. And let me open the line.
Hi.
This is Lois.
Hi, Lois. How are you?
Well, that's what I would like to help with is my health. I just have, I think when I incarnated this lifetime, I must have decided that I was going to clear baggage for the planets, the universe, galaxies. The problem is I don't release it. I hold on to it.
Right. Okay, so what's coming through, this is going to sound really weird, so just roll with it, is every day the universe is saying, the divine is saying, you need to assume a squat position, whether you can do that physically on your own or you can do it while sitting on a chair, and imagine that you are defecating out all of the energy that you've taken in every day, just as, in the morning or whenever you poop. You want to do that at least once, if not twice a day, where with the breath, you're breathing in, and then on the exhale, you're directing out with a lot of sound. You want to really get loud, like, and release through your root and through your feet in that squat position all the energy that you've absorbed in your noble effort to heal externally. You got to get it out twice a day.
Awesome. That is even sounding like something I can accomplish very easily,
Yes,
So,
and I would suggest it takes 21 days minimum to break a habit, and I like to go for 30. And you do have a very strong habit of holding all this in, and it's not serving you. So I encourage you to take this like a science experiment and put it on the calendar morning and night and do it for 30 days, and at every week interval, take a time to note how are you feeling, what's different. If you notice the differences and the changes as they're happening, you are going to invite more in.
Okay.
So if you take this seriously, I think you can find a lot of relief at the end of the month's time.
That would be awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Blessings upon you, my dear. And definitely call in Raphael to help you.
I will. Thank you.
Okay. Awesome.
You're welcome, Lois.
Okay, and then I'm going to go to Newburgh, New York, 845219. Hi, are you there?
Yes, hello?
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm blessed.
Excellent. What's your name?
Sylvia.
Hi, Sylvia.
Hi. I don't have a question, so you can go ahead.
Okay, so you have, it's like there's a heart orb implanted in using that term implant in a good way. You have a big and bountiful heart, but the energy of your sacral chakra needs further activation. So it would appear from first glance that you are better at giving, doing, and supporting others than you are at receiving, giving, and doing for yourself. Does that resonate?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that keeping that extra expanded heart energy is fine, but you want to bring your attention down to the power and the sacral chakra. So just thinking about the navel, where the two chakras, the two energy centers intersect, you want your attention down there so you're activating your own power as well as the center that is your pleasure center, your sense of fun and adventure and creativity of what more you might be able to bring forth, what ways that you can experience passion and pleasure. So when you're moving through the day and you're breathing, I want you just in your normal breath, bring the breath down to the navel and imagine that you're activating those energy centers every time you have the thought, check my breath. I mean, you're not going to do it. It should only occupy about 10% of your brain. It's not like you can do it as a breathing exercise if you want to add it to your time in meditation. That would be very bountiful. But more than that is embodying it as you're moving through the day to bring your attention down from the heart into the navel area so you're tapping into your power center and your sacral and keeping your attention there more than the heart. It's going to shift things and rebalance so you'll be able to receive as much as you give. You also have to work on the mind stuff, though, too, because there's some worthiness there. Like I need to atone, I need to give and do, and this is really old and ancient, but we can work on it. In the meantime, start with bringing your attention through the breath down to those lower energy centers to activate them more favorably for you to access.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Great. Okay. Have a blessed one. Thank you very much.
You too.
All right. Awesome. Okay, quickly, I'm going to Capistrano Valley, California, 949444. Hi, are you there?
Yes, this is Deborah.
Hi, Deborah. How are you?
Hi. I'm wonderful. In California with you, I guess.
Yes, not too far. I love Capistrano.
Actually, I'm in Newport. I'm in Newport, but anyway.
That's a nice place, too.
Yeah,
I like California. So how may we serve you today, my dear?
Well, I'm just coming off of a beautiful healing journey from cancer, and I've just opened up in so many ways, but I'm not sure of my next direction, and I would love some input on that.
So there is great grace and favor all around you from the way you received the healing journey of what you just went through. So take a moment right now to just breathe into and allow to feel into. It's like you're encircled in golden grace light with a whole lot of divine beings around you that are just honoring and adoring you for the beautiful, expansive way that you got the blessing in the challenge. And what is next for you is the sensation is all on the right side, and that is the area of the body that indicates that you either, if it's favorable, it indicates that you're ready to step forward into what more you're here to do, your purpose work, living in a different way, happier, more aligned with your passions, or if the sensation is coming from the back, it's that you're holding on to responsibilities and old things that are no longer yours, maybe never were. With you, the sensation is strongest in the right shoulder, and there's a kind of a push and pull tug because there are some cords, some attachments at the back of your right shoulder that are holding you in place in sort of a static motion, a static state, where your front of your right shoulder is trying to pull forward to free you from that, to move in that forward direction into what more you're here to be, do, have, and create. Does this resonate? with you?
It positively does. I'm having an issue with my back right shoulder this week specifically.
Okay, so
yes.
you want to look into what that's about and to cut the cords and whatever all is there, and then to just allow yourself breathing into the golden, it's not even the grace light, the golden angelic circle is what is coming through that is supporting you, and ask them, what more am I, so you have to, there's two prongs to this. The first is you got to clear what's holding you back, and you also need to begin opening to your golden angelic circle for on what is coming through and what guidance they have for you as to what your next steps are to be.
Okay.
Excellent. Very, very favorable energies for you in the next 3 to 6 months. If you work on this stuff really diligently now, there will be a lot of openings coming later in the year.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations on the work you've done. You're very welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay. Oh, let me see. Is it muting? There we go. Okay, let me just do a couple more really fast, and then we will have to end. So I'm going to go to Des Moines, Iowa, 515745. Hi, you are on with Beth.
Hi, Beth and Tammy.
Hi, who's this?
Hi, this is Deborah.
Hi, Deborah.
Yeah, my question is, where am I most need to place my attention to open and receive manifest abundance and more?
Beautiful. Your power center, my dear. It's as if there's an inner tube around your power center, so that beautiful yellow energy that is between the ribs and the navel is constricted. And you need to remove that inner tube encasing so that it can flow more freely, and you can stand in your power with greater assuredness and confidence. There's way in which you are holding back, like hiding your light under a bushel, a barrel, so to speak. There's some old ancient crud persona energy of it's not safe to shine, and that needs to be dealt with in order for you to be able to open into that greater expression of abundance through you. Do you have any tension, tightness in the gut, digestive issues, or even do you get cricks in the mid-back or spasms of any sort when you move a certain way?
My lower back's like my lower back way down. Once in a while I feel like a pain or something, or on my right side I feel like a pain. And then there's times I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I have all this energy and it hurts really bad.
Yeah, if you work on this power center area, a lot of that is going to ease because it's the tension that is causing those sensations.
Okay, all right. Because then I feel like it's releasing, but it hurts so bad when it's, trying to release.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, sometimes there is that expression in the physical with releasing, but it doesn't need to be that way. Again, it's if you think of the original aspect of the conversation Tammy and I had about how I got here, and we talked about the cocoons, those nudges from the divine, when we're not really in alignment in the way that we need to be, that's when we get pain. So the pain is an expression of the dysfunction within. So this is pretty much what I can do here today, is to tell you that you need to remove that inner tube and expand and flow into a greater expanded connection with your power center. But we could really do some great good work. So if that feels in alignment with where you are to purchase the package, I can definitely assist you more with this.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, and I'm only going to do one more because we're so way over time.
I'm sorry. That's probably me because when we first started talking, I said, I don't know, is this a 60 or 90? I said, is this a 90-minute call? And you said 60, and I'm like, oh, I feel
literally.
90.
I know. I was thinking the whole time. I'm looking at the time, and I'm like, well, she called it when we were talking earlier. It's going to be 90 minutes.
Yeah, I did.
Oh gosh. Okay. So we're gonna go to Washington, Pennsylvania, 724-747. Let me unmute you, and you are on with Beth.
Hi. Thank you for taking my call, Tammy and Beth.
Hi.
So I would like to. This is Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
I wanted to know if there was any messages that you can give me from my divine team. What my pain is that's telling me in my feet. I have it over 25 years, and I've been working on it for really a lot in the last 10 on my, doing various healings, but there's always something. So
wait, did you say your feet?
Yeah, my feet is the main pain issues. I have other pains.
So
the one
there's So your team wants you to know that a lot of the sensations you're having are related to past life energies, some also from your ancestral lineage, and it is as if your feet are in not quite cement, but something a little bit lighter, not as heavy as cement, dried cement. So you have these big blocks, energetic blocks that are like your overshoes that you're trying to move through, and it's creating lots of pressure. And the source of that is these traumatic points of pain in your past lives, in your ancestral timeline. So clearing those aspects on your timeline would help free that up. And as you envision during your times of meditation, and if you can get out in nature, you want to just call in your team and have them crack those virtual concrete shoes off and keep your attention during, it's going to want to return because it's been there a long time. So it's sort of like if you imagine you see a lot of ants and you hose them off your fence and then 10 seconds later they're back. That's the energy of these cement shoes. So until you fully get it, everything cleared out of the timeline and in your body, as in terms of those cement shoes, is they're going to keep gathering back. So daily you want to call in your team, whoever shows up, allow them to be there, and crack it off in whatever way. I mean, you could bring in little jackhammers, just get clever with it, and crack those shoes off, and then just kind of tap your feet around. After you do the process, tap your feet on the ground, move your toes, do some ankle circles to just bring the energy and the life back, and then rinse and repeat the next day. It's going to take some time because this pattern has been there a long time.
Okay. Yeah, that's wonderful. I've done a lot of past life stuff with somebody, and
I can feel that you have. Yeah.
Done a lot, so that kind of lines up with some of that. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay. So thank you, Beth, for staying over time and for sharing all of this with us. It's been such a great call, so much great information. I recommend everybody listen again to that the activation that she did. I know I am going to go back and listen to it again also. So the replay is open for 48 hours for you guys who are either on the call or if you're listening on the replay and want to go back. But Beth, thank you so much for everything that you brought to us, the amazing free gift activation, the 2 different packages that are packed with so much information to help people, including the reading. So just thank you for your time and for your inspiration and for being here.
You are so welcome. Thank you for sharing your beautiful community with me and yourself. I just really am grateful for the opportunity to be here with you, Tammy. Thank you.
Of course. Yes, you are very welcome. Thank you. And thank you to all of our listeners. You guys are always the best. You always show up. You always have the best questions and insights and information as well. So thank you for being here. Stay tuned for more, of course, from our summit. Be sure to listen to this again, like I said. And until next time, continue and keep elevating yourself.